Are you an entrepreneur who likes to tell stories? You've seen them work in your business, but you aren't quite sure how to incorporate story into your video marketing? Or maybe you just don't know how to turn a story into a video. Either way, I've got you covered. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to turn any story into a story-driven video. But first, let's start with your story. Do you actually have a story? If you're not sure, here's a simple story checklist to find out. Do you have a relatable character or someone your audience can relate to? Do you have a problem or some type of conflict for your character? What are they trying to overcome or solve? And finally, do you have a resolution for them? Did they get what they want? If you have these three things, then you are ready to turn your story into a story-driven video. But what exactly is story-driven video? You might just think it's a video with a story, but it is so much more than that. Because story principles are used in all aspects of the video, your video is going to deliver all the benefits and power of story. You're creating a video that doesn't just entertain. Your video will connect with your audiences, keep them engaged, and ignite their emotions and logic, all while leaving a lasting impression. So, how do you do all of that in a story-driven video? First, think about the audience and what they're feeling. One of the biggest differentiators between video and story-driven video comes down to emotions. Video doesn't make you feel anything, but story-driven video does. So what do you want your audience to feel? If you know that, then you can build your story to evoke those emotions. If you want them to feel excited, you're not going to share the sad or depressing parts of your character's journey. Or if you do, you won't dwell on them. You'll just mention them. But if you want your audience to feel hopeful and proud, maybe you do want to share those to show how far your character has come. Now, you also want to think about what your audience is hearing. Whether it's a voiceover or an interview, you need to think about what your audience is hearing in story-driven video. The words that they hear, from word choice to cadence to delivery, they can make or break your story. So ask yourself, are they communicating clearly? Are they rambling or using too many words? Your audience has a short attention span, so concisely telling the story here is key. You also want to think about what your audience is seeing. Now, with story-driven video, ideally, you'll have some B-roll or some shots to cover up the talking heads to keep it interesting. So be sure to be intentional about what you capture, the clips you choose to use, and how you use them to tell the story. Do these shots align with what is being said? If someone is talking about struggling to find a solution, you don't want to show a clip of them happy and living their best life. This will visually oppose the story being told and will confuse your audience. Are these shots interesting and intriguing for your audience? If they are boring or too simple, then your audience is going to lose their interest and their minds are going to begin to wander. You also want to show, don't tell. Now, one of the biggest rules of story-driven video is show, don't tell. And by that, I mean, if you can show it, don't tell it. Audiences are smarter than you think and they love to connect the dots themselves. So instead of saying this product will make any kid happy, talk about how much better life is while showing a happy kid engaging with the product. Then your audience can figure out for themselves that your product does make any kid happy without you having to spell it out for them. You can also look for other ways to show instead of tell in your story. So from B-roll clips to interview clips, just think about whether everything actually needs to be said or if there are better ways for you to show instead of tell. When you can learn to think about what your audience is feeling, hearing, and seeing, while also showing instead of telling, you'll be on the fast track to turning your business stories into story-driven video that sells. Now, if you aren't sure how to create the video, then good news, because next week's video is all about how to turn your story into a video script that will set you up for shooting success.